for the right of abuse victims to be heard in the court of law, and we are protesting for the rights of justice. Jersey's system of law is truly archaic. This island has been stuck in time warp for the last 800 years, and the legal system must be brought into the 21st century in line with other countries throughout the world. Primarily, this protest is a direct response to the Attorney General yet again dropping further cases in relation to victims of child abuse whilst those children were in the care of the State of Jersey. He appears to have been very selective in the cases that he is allowed to go through the courts, and with each case the jury will tell the abuser guilty. For those abuse victims, it is now abundantly. As I said, I'm not a very good speaker, so I'm going to pass you on to someone who does know how to speak to the public. That's Senator Stuart Sibray. Thank you.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! Thank you for turning out, everybody. It's good to see so many people taking an interest in these things. As Carrie has just said, this movement was motivated by the obvious and massive injustices done to survivors of child abuse over the decades who have never got justice from the State of Jersey, from Jersey's courts, from its prosecution service, and sadly over the decades, the police force as well. But whilst we have come together on that subject to have a paid legal aid system whereby the lawyers who have to represent you are paid for doing so. In Jersey it's voluntary, which means of course that the standard of legal aid is atrocious. And if you don't have effective legal representation, then you don't have legal representation. The system that the states of Jersey are running at present is not compliant with the European Convention on Human Rights, which is supposed to be protecting us all. Neither is this unhealthy overlap which exists between the court, prosecution service and the legislature. Too many political considerations. And turning to the catastrophe and the mess that is the prosecution system in Jersey, you have that service led by an Attorney General, Mr. William Balash, who on the one hand is deciding not to prosecute child abusers and not particularly to prosecute those who have illegally concealed child abuse. Yet he's the same man, and his officers are the same officers, who advise the Council of Ministers and the states what they should and shouldn't do and shouldn't say in order to minimise compensation claims that might arise from survivors. Now, surely people can see that's a wholly unsustainable conflict of interests.
Yeah.